What are you loving most about this version of you these days? We've
Good
been growing a
question.
lot lately, you
Good
know.
question.
We've had so much going on,
Yes.
um, and it's required a lot of change, a lot of growth. So,
Hmm.
what are you enjoying most?
What am I enjoying most? I would honestly say probably my belief in me and my belief in us and what
Mm,
we can do. Um, I think we both can agree that we both feel extremely capable for everything that we're like aiming for and stuff like that. So it's nice to have that confidence and that faith in yourself that you can see things through and you can actually um create the result that you want.
yeah,
Like, and that's really what it is. And being in a space where there's really no doubt, there's no worry, um, because we have so much evidence from the past of us really already doing this.
yeah,
So it's like it's not hard to believe that we can make some shit happen.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
Yeah. So it's like my expectations for us are so high. Like I expect us to win because we've done that consistently over time. So it's like long as we do what we need to do, God gonna always do what he do.
yeah,
So long as we're doing our part as well, like we gonna win. Like that's just what happens for us.
right.
Honestly. Like so yeah.
So, if that's us now, if that's you now,
Hmm.
how would you describe who you used to be?
Ooh. Very worrisome, very doubtful, very I would say I was confident, but not confident in the ways that were meaningful to me.
Hmm.
And that would actually like move the needle towards where I wanted to be in life.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed to change a lot in order for me to build that confidence in myself. So, yeah.
Why do you think you ended up being that person?
Being the
What?
person with like less confidence and things like that.
Yeah. What do you think made that person?
Oh, life.
Yeah.
Life made that person. And then realizing that a lot of things in life were what they were because of who I was being at the time.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, well, if you raise your standard for yourself, if you progress, if you learn, if you grow, maybe life wouldn't be as hard as it is right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, if I'm not liking the results that we're getting right now, that I'm getting right now, that means I need to change that because that's a controllable for me.
Yeah.
I can change me. I might not be able to change what life does, but I can change myself and build my own resilience, build my own confidence, grow in the areas where I'm weak in, do whatever I need to do to make sure I'm good for when life starts doing its thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, man, that's what I find to be so interesting because controlling what you can control is probably one of the most powerful things any person could do,
Okay.
regardless of, your relational status. You know what I mean? But I say that because so many people today, they struggle in their own lives and in their relationships, oftentimes blaming things that are outside of them, not realizing that you control your own perspective and how you decide to see things. You control your actions and the things that you do. You can control, the direction that you still want to take your life, the things that you want to pursue, and doing those things, knowing that as long as you have yourself and your belief in who you are and what you're capable of, like you can still make something of your life, your relationship, or whatever, just by doing what you can do. Like we can't always dictate and control, the situations that we experience in life, but we can control, our perception and the things that we decide to do with our focus. And I say that because like we've grown so much recently and a lot of our growth came from looking at our old mistakes, our past mistakes, the stuff that put us in some of our lower moments as parents, as individuals, as a couple when we were both, deep in our own depression because of so much life going on at one point. You know, like when I look at our lowest moments, I look at all of the things that we had to continue to like repeat from not learning the lessons the first, second, and fifth time.
Oof.
And then now we're in a space to where we're we're better than we've ever been before individually.
100%.
We're better than we've ever been before now as a couple. We're better parents than we've ever been before. And our baby girl is proof of that. Like the character she has, the way her teachers talk about it, the way that we interact and the love that we're experiencing in our family, like all of that started from us deciding that we were going to take new actions, new behaviors, controlling what we can control, and then just sticking to doing that.
Right.
And like making that commitment to be better in the ways that we could, and then letting those actions compound over time into a point to where it became what it is now. And we only in the beginning stages of what's to come.
Right.
Like there's so much power in controlling what you can control.
Yeah. I think at some point, I just got tired of being like a victim. Like when you're blaming everything outside of yourself, like you're low key like, oh, I'm a victim. I'm just like weak and I can't do anything for myself. Like, so I'm blaming everybody else. And it's like, no, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at my life and be like, the reason I didn't do what I wanted to do in my life is because of them or because of that or because of my own fears, because of my childhood. I didn't want that to be what held me back.
Yeah.
When I'm like, okay, I'm here and I'm in the now right now. So that means I can grow. I can do better. I can be better. So what steps do I need to take to make sure I am that? So yeah, I personally just got sick of not feeling in control.
Yeah. I think what really stops a lot of people when it comes to really getting rid of that victim mentality. Well, one is the fact that most of the time people that have it don't even know they have it.
Yeah.
So that self-awareness is the first problem.
Yeah.
But getting beyond that, it's like, I feel like when you don't have any really meaningful goals in your life, or you don't have something that you're deeply and purposefully like pursuing, when you don't have that, all you can be is a victim. And I say that because when you're pursuing something that's deeply meaningful to you, you very quickly realize that whatever results you get or don't get are only because of the actions you take or don't take. Which also means that if you're going after something, the only thing that can get in your way is you. And you have to get to a point of being able to take extreme ownership of that, because if you don't, you're leaving your future in somebody else's hands. And so you have to be able to get into this mindset of where I'm going to own everything, my emotions, my actions. I'm going to own, my past traumas or whatever it is that I have to overcome. All of these things. I'm going to recognize, all of my relationships and their impact on me,
Right.
In my life and how I'm perceiving myself or whatever. Like you have to start dissecting your life and really accepting all of these different parts of you and taking ownership of it, because all of it in a way impacts the way that you move and your actions and the things that you do. Or at least that's what my experience was.
I know for me, I don't even think it was about like me having a set goal that I was after. It was more so I didn't like how I was showing up in the world. I didn't like how I was showing up for like baby girl. Like I felt like I could do better. I didn't like how I was showing up for you. So it was like I felt like I needed to be better for myself so I could be better for you guys. And I didn't like who I was at that time. And I felt like that was impacting our relationship, impacting my relationship with baby, impacting baby's relationship with herself.
So you had awareness first, right?
Yeah. So it's awareness, but it wasn't like a set goal. Like I'm like, oh, I need to get to this space, or I need to like achieve this thing. It was more so like me actually taking an honest look at myself and seeing how I contributed to where we were at the time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because even though the goal wasn't a very clear, specific goal,
Yeah.
the goal was still to be better.
Yeah.
And I say that because I kind of fall into like the same boat.
Yeah.
Like you don't know sometimes exactly what this, let's call it elevated version of you looks like, right?
For sure.
But you know for sure the areas in your life where you're lacking and where you need to tighten up and get better.
If you're honest with yourself.
If you're honest with yourself. It's like, all right, you out of shape. This is one of those areas where I'm lacking. If you know for a fact that your mindset isn't where it needs to be and you end up finding yourself in these little thinking traps to where you're thinking negatively, you're expecting worst case scenarios and all of these things, you know, if you're fortunate enough to reflect like that, that your mind is something that you need to work on and get better and improve.
Right.
And so I would say that those are still goals when you become aware of it.
Yeah. I think it's very important that we like say that. So I'm glad you actually broke that down, because people will think like, oh, when you say goals, you mean something that's really like tangible, like in your hand, like I got to start a business. I got to do like, no, like a goal just to be better. Like if you suck at this thing, be better. Like let's just work on that.
Change the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you getting one result right now and you want to change it to something else. That is a goal.
Right.
Regardless of what that is, if it's internal, external, whatever the case may be. But I feel like when a person does do something like that, to whatever degree, it invites you into a space to where you have to start taking some level of ownership.
Absolutely.
Because who's finna sit over here and leave their goals or their dreams and futures, whatever the case may be, to somebody else?
Not me.
Like, exactly. if you know anybody who's smart, you're gonna think about that the same way. Like, I'm not about to sit over here and just subject my life to what everybody else around me is thinking and saying and whatever, whatever. Like, I ain't about to do all of that. And so, yeah, man, until something more compelling becomes like the focus, you're more subjective to be, that victim, or to allow your situations and circumstances to overpower you. Yeah. In my opinion.
I feel that. So let's ask the question back to you. Like, what's your favorite thing about you right now? I feel like, was that the question?
Somewhere around there.
Something like that. Yeah. What's your favorite thing about you right now?
I think what I'm loving most about me right now is the confidence. I won't even lie to you, especially like as a man. Like, I am definitely becoming far more confident. And let me put some meaning behind that. Okay. I think most people out here have some degree of confidence, regardless of what that level is. There's a degree of confidence. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, of course, the word confidence means to confide in self, to trust yourself. I'm getting to a point now where I trust myself and my potential and know what I'm capable of better than ever. And I say that because my actions lately have shown me glimpses of my potential, meaning that I'm doing things that I know for a fact that I could do at a higher level. I'm doing things that are producing results that I know I could repeat numerous and countless times over. I'm doing all of these things in my life that are giving me evidence of who Trone actually is and what he's capable of, not based off of something, that I made up, but I'm taking portions of the results I'm already getting, knowing I'm very self-aware of the fact that I'm not putting my whole 100% effort into it because of life situations, time, stuff like that or whatever. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that I'm not operating at my fullest capabilities in every area of my life right now. Like, I'm not in a season of balance right now. Shit is all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. That just is what it is. Between bodybuilding and content, the stuff we got going on with our family, traveling, it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot. But I'm so confident in who I see myself becoming because of my intentionality in the things that I'm doing right now, even at this level of being unbalanced. And I don't even aim to be balanced. You know what I mean? It's when I get to a point to where I'm like, all right, when I hit a certain fitness goal, I'm going to pull back a little bit so I can pivot over here and focus more on this other thing that I'm thriving in. And so I start to bounce around with the attention, giving more of myself to these other things. But like right now with us being consistent in our content and what we're doing, you know, and building our bodies, man, for, you know, bodybuilding prep and all of these things, and even seeing what our relationship is doing and how we're growing as a family and what baby's producing. Like seeing all of these things is giving me that much more clarity into like who Trone really is and the impact that he's made in himself and in his family, and how we've grown by observing the results. And again, realizing that this ain't even my full effort.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until some things settle down to where I can really be more strategic in my focuses and really start to bring more of that potential out. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm enjoying the most about myself right now. Like seeing what's possible and having that confidence and belief in myself to perform at an even higher level.
Yeah, and I feel like with that confidence, you definitely show up in the world a lot differently.
Yeah,
you definitely show up for me and Baby way differently when you have that trust in yourself. Like, and I love that. I love experiencing that feeling. I love that you have that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, just feeling like real capable these days.
That's good.
And I'm glad that we spend the time that we do, you know, just reflecting on ourselves and everything that we have going on, you know, day to day. Like I know, man, you know, a lot of people, they talk about, you know, couples having, you know, at least once a week, like check in with each other and see what's going on and stuff like that, which is fine. Like take whatever time you can get.
Whatever works.
And I'm glad that we're able to do it daily, or that we make a priority to do it daily, because we really get to see these like changes happen in like the small ways, and they compound in major ways when the epiphanies hit. Like we're so in the moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like no day goes by where we don't really get a full understanding of what's going on in each other's world and what we're experiencing like day to day, which I don't know, it might be a lot for some people, but it's our norm.
Yeah. And we've always done that.
Yeah,
so,
and I love that we do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like it's been so beneficial to me just to have those opportunities to reflect and even see what's changing at the level that it is, because we talk about it so often. I
love that we reflect so much. I love that we think about our thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, I love that we don't like, we'll think a thing and then we be like, okay, well, let me challenge this and see if this is actually true for me. Like, you know, and having evidence to kind of like bounce it against, like to challenge it against.
Yeah.
I love that we do that. And then we do that with ourselves alone. And then we come to each other and we do the same thing. So I love that we have that, because I don't know, it's so beautiful to be inside your mind. I love the way you think.
Well, thank you.
I love the way you think, and I love how you process information. Like, and shoot, you taught me how to do that. Honestly.
Did I?
You did. You taught me how to really challenge my thoughts. Like, I feel like I used to do it, but not in a way that was like, I don't know, just like, like casual.
Yeah.
But it's definitely way more intentional now. So, yeah.
I'm glad I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I know I'm intense about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't even believe some of, I ain't gonna say most. I don't believe some of my thoughts.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, I'll really dissect some stuff, man, you know, especially like the way that we post content. If something came out, it's probably because I done thought about it 6 or 7, 8, 10 times. You know, and broke it down and challenged myself or challenged my thought or whatever a gang of times before it reaches online. Like,
what made you start challenging your thoughts in that way?
Can I be honest with you?
I would hope so.
Yes. It's like, it was funny because that was like an immediate response. And I'm like, bro, that was dumb. Anyway, obviously I'm going to be honest. But reading.
Okay.
Reading. Like, when I first started reading, you know, like personal development books and things like that, before, realizing how how much your mind changes as you grow, and realizing that old ways of thinking may not be, you know, beneficial to where you're going.
Right.
And so, like, as I started reading more books and things like that and trying to implement some of the things that I was learning, as you actually do stuff, you realize what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And the reason you were doing it a different way before is because you didn't know what you know now.
Right.
And sometimes what you think you know at that point is helpful for a period of time.
Right.
While you're at that level. And then you grow some more. And then you realize what you was thinking at that point is not as beneficial as where you are right now.
Come on.
And you change and you take new action. And so what I've learned is that I have to be fluid in my thinking, meaning that sometimes I can think about something and it might not necessarily be true.
Right.
And so I can challenge myself. And then now, because I've learned about, you know, polarity and I'm sorry, not polarity, but like parallels and things like that, by if I can see a truth in something in multiple areas of my life, then more than likely there's more truth to whatever it is that I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Ugh, got my eye.
Oh no.
But yeah, like if I can see a truth in something, you know, it don't matter if it's personal development, marriage, whatever. If I can look at it across other disciplines in my life, I can really start to like break it down and dissect it and see, I'm like, all right, I see this pattern in multiple parts of my life. This probably true.
Right.
And then I can research it and look up, you know, look into it or whatever the case may be. Then also the fact of sometimes there are truths that aren't as necessarily beneficial to me at a point in time.
Okay.
Which might sound crazy
Give an
to some people.
Give an example.
For example, and I don't want to necessarily say that this is a truth, but what I more so mean is like when you're challenging thoughts, this is how I can make it more easily understandable. So we bought this house, right?
Yeah.
When we bought this house, I'm not gonna lie to you, I ain't know how we was about to afford this house. For real.
Yeah. Keep it real.
But what I knew for a fact was that where we was in that apartment and all the stuff that we had been through, the environment, baby girl and her schooling and that environment and what that was doing to it and like what we were going through and what I knew I needed to be doing, I needed to be in a home that felt peaceful, where the energy was right, to what I felt inspired to create and that would stretch me to think better, to do more, to become more, all of that stuff. This house was not a smart move. It was a faith move.
Come on.
It didn't make sense financially. Like if you tried to like talk yourself through it, it wouldn't have made sense. Spiritually, it made perfect sense. I needed something to make me better and to inspire me and my family so that way I could become more of who I see myself as. Right. So when we came in this house and we was writing scriptures and affirmations and all of this stuff, you know, on the wood and on the, you know, the bones of the house and all of that, like, man, we was putting life into this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I needed a space to where I could grow more into who I knew I needed to become. And I couldn't do that making a physical, logical decision.
Okay.
I needed something that was going to step outside of, you know, that level of comfort at the time and expand me a little bit.
Okay.
Because like on paper, some stuff just don't always make sense. And it might be true. It's like, yeah, you know what? You probably don't need this. You probably, you know, financially probably shouldn't make that move.
Right.
You shouldn't do this thing over there. Like, you can make sense of some of that stuff and it might be true.
Right.
But who cares? Sometimes you have to challenge truth. You have to challenge it just a little bit based off of whatever your objectives are at that time. But at the same time, there can be multiple truths. I mean, I ain't gonna say that there's multiple truths, but ways of looking at things.
Okay.
And so I compared it to like, even matter of fact, like when I got the Mercedes, when I got that initially, you know, I told you I bought it because I was doing the Turo thing, and I wanted, to rent the car out, do all of that stuff. And because I wanted to get rid of my Impala. Because my Impala, when I had that, like, the car just made me sad.
Okay.
Because I bought that car out of fear. Yeah, I bought that car completely out of fear because we were on our way out the Army. My Chrysler at the time, it had broken down.
Yeah.
Even though we got it fixed and all of that stuff, whatever, but like I needed a lower car payment. I needed something, reliable. Like I bought that car scared. We got rid of the house we were in, got into the apartment. We were downgrading everything because we didn't know what it meant to be a civilian. We've been in the military our whole lives. Yeah. So when I bought the Mercedes, again, on top of the house, it didn't technically make sense.
Right.
I had a vision for it, but I also knew I needed to get out of this thing that I had so much animosity against. So I needed something else to match the faith that I knew I was trying to create in myself. And it don't completely make sense to everybody sometimes. You know what I mean?
And that's okay.
But a lot of good came out of all of that. It expanded me so much from, when I changed jobs and I ended up, pitching myself to somebody real low key or whatever, doubled income. Like, man, we've grown so much to where now it's like, dang, bro, like all of this is nothing now. Like we debt free now. Like, bro, we up. You know what I'm saying? I became, in that process of doing some of these things that didn't technically make sense, I've grown so much. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. From our content that we was making, some of the stuff that I was able to do, like that we've been able to build, man, like just, it did exactly what I wanted it to do.
God is so good.
But it didn't technically make sense.
It didn't make sense.
It didn't. But we found a way.
Yeah.
Kept doing all the stuff, kept planting the seeds, and it made me become exactly who I knew it would just by stretching myself. You know what I'm saying?
And a whole lot of God.
And a lot, mostly God. But it's a spiritual activity.
Fact.
Like none of this was thought about physically.
Right.
This was all spiritual. I was trying to become somebody.
Yeah.
And I was trying to shape the environment to make me become that person.
Somebody you had never been before, ever seen before. So good.
Yeah. So like, again, like there's some true in there. Like, this is true that this was probably not the best move.
Right.
Probably technically shouldn't have done that or whatever. But you don't know what I'm solving for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not solving for logical.
Right.
I'm solving for like exponential spiritual growth. Like, who can I become in this process? You know what I'm saying? To where this person is bigger than the me right now, than the logical right now. Like, who I'm trying to become is bigger than this. It'll make sense for him. It'll make sense for who I'm becoming, not the person I am right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how they go. Hey, little visitor.
She felt you getting intense, babe.
Whatever. Go to bed. Go to bed, Nola.
She's sweetie.
Whatever. Because she get annoying.
Baby.
Y'all, Nola has joined the show. For y'all that don't know.
She just want to lay right here.
But okay.
You're not going to get up here, though. But anyway.
Yeah, man. So that's how that went down.
That's good. That was a good share, babe.
Yeah, I don't know where we was going before that. But yeah, man, like it's crazy to see how much, like we've grown, like just in this environment together, like in our marriage and everything that we doing now. Like it's crazy, man. And a lot of this stuff don't make sense.
It don't
make sense. Like, but I'm loving it, man.
I've seen this meme before when it says, you ever have a moment where you look around and you realize you standing in what you prayed for?
Yeah.
Like, and that's really been us, like us looking at each other like, babe, like, what? How did this even happen? And I'm excited for our next version of, babe, what? How did this happen?
Yeah.
Because we're working towards that too.
How did this even happen?
Yes, how did it happen?
Yeah,
God is good.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's all I can say.
Real big.
Big blessed.
And like, man, just man, for y'all that's listening, man, Lord, what is up with this puppy? Anyway, For y'all that's listening, man, just realize that who you become in the process, individually and together, is so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important because a lot of the times, you know, man, we set these superficial goals about the things that we want to have and all of this stuff or whatever. But sometimes, for whatever reason, like, people forget that there's a person, you know, attached to all of that.
Right.
And it's that person that you become that produces the result that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you prioritize becoming the person first, all the other things will end up being a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
Like, when you become that type of way in your marriage or in yourself individually and all of these things, like, you get the outcomes that you're looking for,
right.
but focus on who you need to be. And I wish more people would think about that, and hopefully, you know, this conversation inspires more people to think and reflect on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's why I'm at with it, boo.
Me too.
Bet. And man, of course, as always, you know, we hope you guys got some value out of the episode, because I know we did.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, family, my name is John Tron. This is my beautiful queen,
Adoria.
and we are one dope couple. And until next time, family, peace and love.